Hey, Henry here from Cascade. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at flower sticks. We're going to be having a look at what they are and how to get started with them. What are flower sticks? This is a flower stick. It's the long stick that you control with two other control sticks. It's got tassels on the end here, so that's slightly different from a devil stick, which we'll have a look at in a second. This one's a Juggle Dream Neo flower stick. It's covered in silicone all the way down it. That gives loads of grip. The control sticks that you handle it with are also covered in silicone all the way down. So combined, these are going to give you loads of grip and a good option to get started with. They're nice and slow. I did mention devil sticks before, so you might have heard of those before. This is a devil stick. It doesn't have the tassels on the end, so that means it plays a little bit faster. It's not got a silicone grip. You might get a devil stick with silicone grip on it. This model doesn't. It's just got regular tape on it. That's a little bit slicker, and it doesn't handle as slowly, and it's not as grippy, so it plays a lot faster, a little bit more difficult to control. It's also got a slight taper towards the center, and that puts the weight out towards the end, which is going to give you the momentum when you're playing with it. But if you're just looking to get started with this thing, I would recommend sticking with flower sticks. Okay, so if you've just got your set of flower sticks and you don't know what you're doing with them, we're going to have a look at how to get started with controlling the flower stick. So the control sticks that you've got, you want to be holding them down the end here, not in the middle. You'll find that it's better holding them down towards one end. So you've got one of those in either hand. And then the best thing to do to get started with is just to get a feel for the flower stick. So place the flower stick lengthways across the two control sticks. And then you can practice just rolling it down towards your hands. So you can let it run onto your arms, roll it back down again onto the control sticks. And what you're doing here is you're just getting a feel for the flower stick. You're getting a feel for how heavy it is, how much it weighs, and how sticky and grippy it is as well, and just a general feel for it. So once you've done that, you might want to try a half throw. So we're going to drop the right control stick down a little bit, then you're going to push that up, and as you push it up, you're going to take your left one away, allow it to do a half spin, and catch it back in the same position again. So you're dropping the right stick, push up, let it do a half spin and catch. You could do a full spin if you want, or you could try from the different side. So you can do the half spin. So that's just getting used to it. Now we're going to have a look at how to keep the flower stick in the tick-tock motion. Okay, so you start with the flower stick just sitting on the ground like this. You want to be connecting with the flower stick near the top. So between halfway and the end of the flower stick, around about here is where you want to be connecting with the control sticks. And you don't want to be hitting the flower stick. It's more of a push motion than a hit motion. And ideally you want this to be quite a slow and steady movement. You don't want it to feel rushed. If it feels rushed, you're probably going to start losing control quite quickly. So you're trying to go slow and steady like this and just start practicing with it while it's sitting on the ground. So once you're pretty comfortable playing the flower stick backwards and forwards and it's on the ground, what you're going to do is you're going to start lifting it up. So here you want to be bringing the control stick up, straight up as you stand up, and this will bring the flower stick up with it. The tricky bit here is to keep maintaining the tick-tock motion, and you keep wanting to get connection with the flower stick at the same spot. At this point you might find that you're hitting the flower stick in the wrong place, your connection's being made in the wrong place, or you're speeding up. So just try to focus on keeping it nice and slow, steady, and a push rather than a hit motion, letting the flower stick come onto the control stick and not pushing it straight off, but allowing it to come and go with its natural motion. So if you connect with it in the wrong place, below halfway, you're going to find that the flower stick over rotates and you're going to lose control of it. You might want to do this at some point later down the line if you're trying to learn some tricks, but for just now when we're getting started, you always want to try to make the connection at that point between halfway and the end. You might find it useful to mark it with a bit of tape. These flower sticks are okay if you've got a little bit of tape on them. If you don't mind, you could always use a marker and mark it up with a marker, or that will be permanent, so it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. So when you're starting off, what you want to be doing is keeping the flower stick in the plane just in front of you. You want to keep this nice and flat, but you might find that it starts to rotate a little bit, either coming towards you or spinning away from you. This is caused by your control sticks either moving forwards or backwards where you're connecting with it. And an easy way to remedy this is if you move the control stick, if you find the flower stick is spinning in a clockwise motion towards you, move your right control stick forwards a little bit. If it's moving in the other direction, move your right control stick backwards a little bit. This is relatively easy to do, and you'll find that with a bit of practice you're able to control it and keep it in that nice steady plane. Okay, so now you've got that nice and comfortable, what we're going to do is look at your first trick. So this is going to be a throw within the simple pendulum motion. So if you're right-handed, do this with your right hand like I'm going to teach. If you're left-handed, you might find it easier to just reverse what I'm talking about. So if you're playing it backwards and forwards and you want to do a throw, you need to do a little bit more pressure on the upwards movement with the right hand. So think about when you're going to do it. As you hit it off the left control stick, if you push it off the left control stick and it's coming onto the right one, let it go a little bit further than you might do before, and then give it a bit more upward pressure as you're pushing upwards, and you'll find that the flower stick rotates. You want to be getting a little bit more height on it than you usually would to give it time to spin. And to start with, you might find that half spin is easier, but after you've got that down, then go for a bit more pressure and you can make it spin one full time. The amount of pressure you put on it is going to determine how much it spins, and also the position where you're pushing it this time is also going to determine how fast it spins. So the closer into the middle you hit it, the slower it's going to spin, and the closer towards the flower you hit it, the faster it's going to spin. So you're still aiming for somewhere in between those two to give it a nice spin that is not too fast and gives you time to catch it and keep going. So this is one little extra thing we're going to show you today. So if you've mastered all those bits, this is just a little fun way of getting started when you're flower sticking. It's also really useful if you're dropping the flower stick a lot, because it means you don't need to keep bending down to pick it up. It's a kick up with your foot. So you start with the flower stick on the ground, resting on your foot. I'm doing it on my right foot here. And you do it resting on your foot just over halfway. So around about maybe where you'd hit it. You want to be bringing your foot straight up, and as you do that, you're going to connect with the flower end of the stick with your knee. That's going to put the rotation into it, and if you do it nice and smoothly all together, making the connection, then you're going to get the flower stick spinning up, and you can just carry on with your pendulum from there. So bring it up, connect with the knee, and that'll put the rotation in it, and then it'll spin hopefully nice and slowly so you can connect with it and carry on with the pendulum. Cool, so that is flower sticks, that's how to do them. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you've got any questions about what you're doing or any further tutorials you'd like to see from us, just leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, why not subscribe for loads more circus, juggling, flower stick related videos. Give this video a like as well, that really helps us out. If you want to check out some flower sticks, we've got a bit of a range down below. We've got the ones that we had in the video, and we've also got some like LED and fire ones as well if you want to get adventurous. For today, that's it.